Hello, hello. Can you hear me? See me? You can't hear me and see me, Brian? I'm having a hard time reading the chat because my eyes are very, very tired. So hello to Shelly and Brian and Monica. Is that all we have here so far? I gotta grab my mouse. I went in to set up the live and it wouldn't let me schedule it, so it was weird. Hi, Susan. Hi, Vic. Hi, Mona. Alright, so we have no Ellen tonight. He's on Wiener watch. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Kathy. So Finn and Ellie tied this morning, so we'll try it one more time. We'll see if we have puppies in 63 days. She was not happy. She's very vocal. My neighbors are going to start talking. Hi, Joy. Hi, Kim. How are you, Kim? Hi, Tammy. So I haven't been here for a couple weeks, so I thought I would show you because I don't think I've showed you these paintings yet. These were from 2 weeks ago. This was the one we did with all the Deco Art iridescent paints. And we added gold. But I love the way it dried. It's super pretty. So when we left, it was all white with some gold. And that's how it dried. Forever ago. I'm sorry, Brian. And I don't remember what we did with this one. I should write on the back what they are, huh? I'll have to go back and watch, but I didn't really care for the way this one turned out anyway. This one we can embellish something on it at some point. When I have time, a million years from now. So I did promise that I would show some ornaments. These are from Saturday's premiere. Super pretty. Oops, I missed one. It's up there still. But you get the gist. They've got that blue violet. So pretty. So I've got a bunch of videos coming up on ornaments. I think I have 3. I haven't even put a dent in my ornaments yet. There's Alan. Hi, Nate. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate you. You're awesome. What did Alan say? Did I miss something? Did he announce that he was on Wiener Watch? Hi, Darnell. So yeah, Finn happened to get her on the steps this morning. And he had leverage there. And they rolled down 2 stairs. Thank God I was like right here to get them. Because she was screaming and he was pulling. And oh, it was not a pretty sight. But they tied for 20 minutes. So I put a diaper on her today and told him to leave her alone. Hi, Lori. Am I missing anybody? Hi, Jackie. Hi, Eldridge. And Patty. You guys are all sneaking in on me. So I have an 11 by 14 and I want to try something else. I want to do something different. Alan, my phone was on the desk. I was not going to let go. Alright. We'll see if this works. Oh, this is a terrible paintbrush. Let me see if I have another one. I'll grab a few. Okay, so I want to try dry brushing a background, and we'll hit it with the blow dryer and do just a little simple flip and drag through it. But I want to use these iridescent paints because they have silicone in them. I'm trying to use this stuff up because it's going to sit too long. And then we won't have any goodness left. I'm hoping that the silicone won't give us too many problems. But I think I'm going to put a little bit of black down first. And we'll go from there. I have some Artist Loft black here, soft body. It'll be fluid, Brian, on part 2. Stop giving me a hard time. I just want to get this on and get it coated. That way the silicone won't hit the canvas and repel. But this won't take long to dry either. I'm going to try very hard to watch chat because I don't have Alan out here. So if I miss a question, keep asking. Got too much paint on there. I'm going to scrape some off because we definitely don't want all that paint. I do want some texture, so I am kind of brushing different ways. All right, let's get rid of that. Let me dry this a little bit. Hi, Julie E. Okay, that's enough drying on that. It'll still work for what we're doing. I do want to wipe my finger off though. What is the purpose of the black paint? Because I'm putting some iridescent paints on it, so we'll be able to see the colors. Alright, and they do have silicone, so we'll get some weird reactions too. But I wanted a little bit of wet paint, so when I brush it on, it mixes a little bit. Not sure if I'll use all these colors, but let's mix them up just in case. Yes, you did, Brian. Aren't you special? Okay. I'm going to need a cup of water to rinse my brush out, I think. Let me grab that. Good thing I have water out here. All right. So I'm going to wet my brush first, just to soften it up. And I'll wipe it off. All right, let's start with turquoise. So all I'm going to be doing is doing some fans of color like this. Just so we don't have to, when I do the flip and drag through there, I won't have to worry about blowing out too much on the edges. This little bit of fanned out color will give us some cool effects around the painting itself. Alright, so let's try some violet. We'll I'm going to put that next to the turquoise because it's super pretty together. I wanted to do something different tonight. This just happened to pop in my head as I was looking at the canvas. And then I looked over and saw the iridescent colors. And I thought, why not? Right? Okay, how about some magenta? I'll do that on the other side of the turquoise, since it's kind of violet-y. Don't have a lot of room on this one. This could be a total failure, you know. But we don't know until we try. Monday night might not be a place to try, right? Got kids crying outside. They're not mine. Mine cry inside. Alright, let's try some blue. Where do I want the blue? Because the other color I have is green. Let's put the blue next to the magenta. Except on that side I'll have to put on this end. Oops, I got a little water on there. That's not good. It's in my brush. Everybody have a good weekend? Ours was fun. I might have to add a little bit more violet on that one spot. And something on this end too, probably. Alright, so let's get turquoise, violet, blue, green. Alright, let me add some more violet there. Bring a little bit here. I am going to add some more color on this end. So that way it's not balanced. It'll just be a peak. Just a peekaboo color. And I think that'll be turquoise. So yes, these colors will dry like they are where they're in the dry spots. Can you see the shift? Like right here, that's how they'll dry. They won't be white at all. I am going to hit it with the hairdryer just for a second though. Enjoy your dinner, Julie. Lurk away, honey. Hi, Dee Dee. Enough for that. We don't have to force it dry. But we're getting our colors. Alright, so now on the flip and drag that I'm going to do through there, I am going to use those colors with black. And we are going to be using silicone because we do want some cells. Don't need a lot of paint though. Even though this is not wet, I'm going to use more than the average, but I don't need like a full cup of paint. I'm going to spray my cup. Awesome, Jackie. I have days like that too. I had a good weekend of blooming. It's like when you're on a roll, don't quit. I didn't do a flip and drag yet. Not yet, Bri. Alright, so I have my black. Let me move this forward a little bit. Just put a little bit in the bottom of the cup. I'm just going to be drizzling these colors through. So that was the turquoise. And then I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of color with each one. Just a little drizzles. Just so it pops more. A little bit of black. So as I use these, I'm going to close them so I don't get them confused. Alright, so then I have, let's go with the green. And we know this green is very green. So I'm not using Brian's annoying green. I'm gonna use Maria's Shimmering Spruce. It's not the closest green, but I think it'll be pretty. And these don't have silicone that I'm using, but the other colors do. It's such a minute amount that doesn't really matter. Okay, a little bit of black. There must be a birthday party next door. All right, now let's go to the blue. This is interference blue. And if you were not here earlier, these are Deco Art Enchanted interference colors. And they have silicone in them. Yes, Lori. Deco Art. Oh my goodness, he must have got a car for his birthday. So with that, let's use Carolina Blue. his 18th birthday, so I'm sure they're spoiling him for his birthday. This kid's a valedictorian of his class, so his parents are proud of him. Alright, violet. Some black. Whoops, not yet. I almost got myself there. Alright, let's do Vineyard Violet. That was a little heavy there. Okay, some black. And then we have our magenta. Oof. Gonna have to be bubblegum on that one, isn't it? These are all Praj Posse paints that I'm using. And the colors. Actually, let's do... No, I better not. I was gonna do knockoff, but that pulls purple. Okay. There's our bubble gum. Bubble gum. And some black. Okay, not gonna swirl, so we don't want to mix it up any more than it already is. So because I have these layered, they're going to come out layered, so I'm going to start in the middle and drag through to mix them a little bit. The ornaments, I got those at Michael's. I think the only place you're going to get them at Michael's now is in the stores, and that's if they have them. A lot of places are sold out already. Okay, our paint's down. Let's give our wiggle. I better pop that. Because if I don't, we may drag too much. Alright. She's already coming out. And I don't care how much goes over the edge or off the canvas, because we don't want it to take over the whole canvas. So I am going to use, I already know, I am going to use my palette knife and pull some of this out. But I'm also going to try to airbrush a little bit, because I don't think we're going to get much without a wet background. But I do want to give it some shape. So when you come back next week, you won't see any of those white flecks on the outside edges. They'll all be dry. So what you'll see is the colors with the flip and drag. Alright, let's see what we can do. That way we won't have at least, I don't want like a definite edge, so I'm just pushing just a little bit out. We're not going to get anything like we normally do with a flip and drag, because we don't have any wet paint on the edge to carry it out. But I can take my palette knife and I can pull some of this after I see where we're at. I like that that drop of pink landed where the magenta is. That was not planned. So like the white that you're seeing in the flip and drag also will not be there next week after it's dry. Because that is the interference colors that will dry like these are drying. I wish there was like an instant button and we could just have it come to life. That's not gonna happen though. Alright, let me pull some wispies. I'm looking to see where I really need to have the eye get drawn to instead of like right there for now. So it would be like when it's dry. Something new to try. I went a little heavy there. Just gonna tap that back down. Little dry flap. I really like this pink here. Pretty cool. Let me torch it. Alright, let me wipe this edge since that's the wettest side. I'll bring it up for you. Those interferences are still drying. But all that white is going to be the coordinated color of the paint that's next to it. So if it's blue with the white by it, it'll be blue, because that's how we layered the cup. And the wispies, you can kind of see them where I pulled them out. Hard to see it with the colors. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. Something different for us. So I'm going to take this over to the drying rack and see how she does. Hopefully we won't get any cracking. She's going way in the back. So that was fun. Something different to do. Instead of the same old stuff, right? I'm the same way, Monica. I could have kept going. We have, you know, there's a volume button if you guys don't want to listen to me when I run the blow dryer. You can always hit your volume button just for a moment till you see me being done. But we have to show the process. That's how people learn. And we are a teaching channel, so tonight's more fun than teaching. Thursdays is our tutorial day where we teach. Alright, that's all cleaned up. Get that out of the way. These dirty black gloves off. So the canvas sale at Michael's is until October 1st. 70% off canvases. So get them now because they are selling out fast. I know online is really bad. They've sold out a lot of stuff. You're deaf, Vicky. Good night, Alan. Happy Wiener watching. Oh my goodness, what's he gonna do when we have puppies running around? I'll be calling him at work. You need to come home. The kids are driving me crazy. That will be funny. Alright, let's get out the spinner for our next piece. I didn't buy a lot, Bonnie, because I have a lot, but I did buy some big ones. Because when I get commission work, they always want big ones. But they also make great videos, the big canvases. I was a good girl. I did get a bunch of rounds and ovals because they were so much cheaper than Hobby Lobby. And they're about the same quality. Not the greatest, but they work in a pinch. Alright, I'm going to raise you up just a smidge. Get you even here. So I thought what we would do is a Dahlia Flower. Not with spoons, no. God, no. Alright, so we're going to be doing puddles of color. And then we'll use a skewer and then we'll spin it out to open it. So with a 12 by 12 canvas, I like to do 12 layers of color. And I found that that works best. So like if you're using an 8 by 8 where you do 8 rounds of color, it's just enough paint to go over your edges. So the bigger you go, the more layers you would do. So my cousin has been so very sweet to me, so I am going to be using yellow. Because her favorite color is bumblebee yellow. We are not using silicone. And with the yellow, I'm going to put the Persian Autumn Yellow in there as well. That's going to give us an orangey yellow. And then we're going to do some coral reef. Anybody see where I'm going with this? It won't be mustard and ketchup, I promise. I'm not catering to Vic, Brian. It's just I never do anything with yellow. So I felt bad. Let's do Victoria's Muscadine wine, you know, because this is for her. Yeah, Alan's on Wiener Watch, Dee Dee. That's terrible, isn't it? He's relentless. Typical male. Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean anything to you. Alright, I need one more color. Anyone want to suggest a color to go with that palette? Throw some colors out. Wow, you're all quiet. Come on, colors. Dark blue. We could use the denim blue. That would be pretty. Or moody blue. Yeah, let's do moody blue. Well, that was easy. I thought about moody blue earlier today about doing a painting with it. I have the coral reef in there, Mary Ellen, so it's like super close to the knockoff, but it doesn't have the purple iridescent, the color shift. The coral reef has the gold in it, so I think it'll be pretty. So we're using 5 colors, so we may not need to do 12 layers. Usually I do 3 colors, but you just got to have more with yellow. All right, so before I do anything further, that's not going to be long enough. That's a 14. That's not a 12, is it? Is it? It's a 12. Goodness. I need my bigger ruler. So I am going to mark my center, just so I don't go off center in the beginning. And if you did this with a base coat, alright, so then I want to make sure in my camera lens that I can see where the center's at before I put my base coat down. Looks pretty good. Alright, that's how I double check my canvas to make sure that I'm centered. Because with this technique, you really have to be careful. Alright, let's put some paint in the middle. Now, let's see how far I can get this out. I should have checked my level, because my turntable is not level. It's not my table, it's my turntable. See, it's pulling to that one side. So I can fix that. I'll put 2 sticks under. And that way it's not gonna, when I pour the paints, it won't go that way. Alright, I think we'll be okay. I'm just gonna spread it out a little bit with my finger, just to keep the canvas wet. We can always add more if we need it. Alright, like that over there. Paper towel. Gotta have them ready. I'm gonna torch a few bubbles. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go backwards. I am gonna put this moody blue between the coral reef and the Persian autumn, I think. And that's going to give me a green. Alright, let's do that. Alright, let's... Oh dear. We're going to end up with a green. Oh wow. So you just want about the size of a quarter. I will get quiet because I'm like concentrating. See how it's leaned into that way? So after every round I like to turn my spinner. Probably noticed that in my videos, because how you pour out of the bottle, it would push that way the weight of the paint. Hopefully we won't get green from that Moody Blue and Bumblebee playing together. So I'm figuring out what we're gonna do Thursday night, since it's our last week of September, for ornaments. I'm just correcting this a little bit. I want to make sure that we do those trees, because I'm sure people have bought them because of the tutorial. So we'll probably resin those, and maybe we'll resin the Premier tiles. We'll see. I hope that was not a goober. I'm gonna check it before I go any further. It was. But I got it. I wonder where it came from. Must have been in the lid. In the spout. Brian, are you keeping track of how many layers I'm doing? I think I did 6 so far. This is 7. A lot of this gets spun off. Just letting you guys know, so don't freak out when you see it go flying. It's all part of the technique to get it to go over. Normally I like to do these on a gallery wrap canvas, so the sides are super pretty. I didn't prep one. It was kind of a last minute idea. The struggle is real, guys, trying to think what I want to do on Mondays. All you gotta do is count the coral reef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9. We might be able to be with 9. No, I'm gonna go more. If I don't, we won't get enough lines. 10. Oh, just hit my mouse. All right. 11. I think we'll be good at 11. I see enough bands. Alright, so I want to end think I want to end with the muscadine wine. So let's go up to that. Because I think the blue would be too dark. And not enough contrast without two above that. So, alright. I have some bubbles, so I need to pop those before I start skewering. I want to get these out of the way because paint will be flying. Alright, let's see what we got. In order to make this technique work for you well, the more lines you put in, the better. I know a lot of people like to quit because they think that's enough, but it's really not. Because when you spin it, you're losing all those outside lines and losing the definition of what could be a dahlia. Now, if I would have used a few different colors, I could have actually made it a dahlia. Alright, we're wet enough on the edges. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Make sure feel like I'm in the center. Alright, so we're pulling in. Definitely want a towel. Oh my goodness. Is it Fazia? Fazia. I was thinking, who does this? Fazia. Fazia Art. So do your first 4. When you come into the middle, you want to pull straight up so you're not disturbing that. Alright, so let's section that one. This is where your turntable comes in handy. I hope that booger right there is not going to give me problems. It's a drizzle. We already know how much paint's going to go flying when I spin this. So I'm going to break those in half. It's pretty crazy. It's making me kind of dizzy. I don't need that. I get dizzy enough on my own. Alright, here we go. Start breaking those in half. I'm actually going to go 2 in each one to save a little time. And then I'll work on the middle when we're done pulling. So, you can go ahead and go get a beverage, go to the bathroom. I'll still be pulling when you get back. I have one of these on Instagram. It's the fastest video ever of me pulling. My center's not coming out very pretty though. But I'm hoping I can pull that muscadine wine and the coral reef down to give us that dahlia point. Now, I've seen her do it with even lines between these lines. And it's like, oh my gosh, how do you keep your paint from mixing? So she must use a much thicker paint. But Fiona spotlighted her because I had never seen her do this before. I've never seen it. So when Fiona did it, it was like, wow, that is so cool. I want to try one. So Alan did one, and I did one. And they both got resin, and they're both gone. We've sold them both. People just think they're cool. Alright, let's suck some of that out. I'm not digging that center at all. I'm going to try to pull that Moody Blue back towards the center. Too many colors, so it gets muddy. So if you're going to do one of these, I would only use like 3 colors. Turkey feathers. If I would have used an orange, yeah. That coral reef is a little bit too pinky to be orange. Oops. I can get rid of that. When I was going to cosmetology school, that was one of the things our teachers used to tell us. Never say oops. Even if you drop your comb, don't say oops. Leave it. Get a new one. Alright, one more pull. Going and pulled. I'm not going to squirt it again. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now, I already know this stuff's going to go flying. So I'm going to move my stuff back and get my cardboard up. Because it's about to get messy. Just don't want that stuff getting paint on it. Gotta move it in a little bit. Alright. Let me cover myself up here. Actually, let me put this big one here. I don't trust it. Ooh, sorry guys. Let me stay. As long as it doesn't get my stuff over there. Alright. Blocking the light a little bit, aren't I? That's true, Heather. Alright, let's give it a light spin. Let's get some of the paint off first. There will be no whipping of this. Where you can make your adjustments just a little bit. You don't want to get wonky. Alright. If you guys haven't checked out the Healing Hearts art auctions yet, check that out on Facebook. They have a really cool auction coming up October 1st. With Tanya Munt, and I can't remember who the other one is. Heather. Sorry. Tracy Johnston. Beautiful stuff, guys. So if you're looking to get some gifts for Christmas, definitely check out that auction. Alright, I think that's it. I'm going to check my depth here in a second. I'll get my hands wiped off first. And I didn't get it all over me. Yay! The little things in life that make me so happy. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. You're awesome, honey. All right, let's check her. Oh, we're good. I always tell everybody, don't be any thicker than like 1/8 of an inch. Not even 1/8. Between 1/8 and 1/16. That way you don't have to worry about cracking. Keep it out of air. Do not dry anywhere where there's a fan blowing. You want it to just set and rest and dry on its own slowly. But she came out pretty. Got Vicky's yellow, got Vicky's muscadine showing up. Coral reef is beautiful, and with the gold metallic in that coral reef, it's going to be super pretty when it dries. So there was 2 cool things that we did tonight that we have done in a while. I haven't done this in a while. The other thing I never did, so that was something new to try. But I'm going to wrap it up. Give Alan a break since he's on wiener duty. Oh my goodness. Puppies mating is not fun. But I appreciate you all for being here tonight. Don't forget Thursday's tutorial at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're still finishing up ornaments. And then Mona will be doing a premiere on Thursday night at 9. She'll be following me. So there'll be a link to follow over to Mona's. And then Saturday, I'm not sure if I'm doing a premiere because they have the piggy pajama party. So I may do it Sunday in the morning or in the afternoon. But I have a premiere to put up this weekend. So thanks so much for joining me tonight, guys. I love you all. And I will see you all next week. I'll see you Thursday. Bye, guys.